Today, we're talking about one of our favorite tech rivalries, Samsung versus Apple. And guess what? Samsung's marketing team is back at it again, trolling Apple, and honestly, we think it's absolutely brilliant. Let's dive in. Samsung has a long history of trolling Apple through its ads. It's like an unwritten rule. Apple launches a new product, rolls out an elaborate marketing campaign, and just when you think it's all over, Samsung drops a hilarious ad poking fun at Apple. And while Apple would never officially admit it, these ads definitely get under their skin. And let's be honest, it's something we look forward to every time. Remember the Next Big Thing campaign? Samsung's attorneys even claimed during a trial that those ads drove Apple crazy. Imagine being in Apple's marketing meetings with Phil Schiller realizing that Samsung was a threat that could no longer be ignored. He even suggested changing marketing agencies and discussing responses at board meetings. That's how much Samsung got under their skin. Over the years, Samsung has come up with all sorts of creative ways to take jabs at Apple. Samsung has never been shy about pointing out Apple's shortcomings. Whether it's calling out the lack of foldable phones, mocking lower resolution cameras, or even taking swipes at Apple Pay, Samsung has been relentless. And let's not forget, these aren't just cheap shots. They're cleverly crafted and backed by solid products. These ads have been a staple of their marketing strategy for nearly a decade. Now, in recent years, Samsung has toned it down a bit. They even deleted many of their old ads that made fun of Apple. Why? Well, it turns out, Samsung ended up making some of the same decisions they had criticized Apple for, like launching devices with a notch and ditching the headphone jack. Talk about irony. As a self-proclaimed Samsung fan, I kinda miss those bold jabs. Few companies have the guts to go head-to-head with Apple, especially with such wit and creativity. And when they do, it's pure entertainment. So what sparked the latest round of trolling? Apple's recent ad for their new OLED iPad Pro. Apple's marketing team probably thought the ad was a masterpiece, showing how the iPad Pro brings together the best of art, music, education, and entertainment. But it didn't quite land as expected. The depiction of a giant hydraulic press crushing the history of humanity's creative achievements didn't sit well with people. Yeah, that didn't go over well. The backlash was swift and intense. Apple even had playful riffs on Apple for a while now. Sure, Apple dropped the ball with their ad, but Samsung's quick and clever response reminded us why they're so good at this game. Samsung has always been great at getting under Apple's skin, and it's a tradition I hope continues. In an industry where Apple casts a long shadow, sometimes you need someone to lob a hammer at Big Brother. So, what do you think? Do you enjoy Samsung's playful jabs at Apple as much as we do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. In just a few months' time, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will succeed the iPhone 15 Pro Max and take on the mantle as the best and most advanced iPhone out there. Although there's plenty of time until September and a lot can change, we seem to know a lot about the upcoming top iPhone model based on rumors and leaks. How is the iPhone 16 Pro Max shaping up against its predecessor? What's changing and what's staying the same? Let's see how the iPhone 16 Pro Max shapes up against the current best iPhone Apple has in its roster. First up, let's talk about design and size. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will inherit the same design language as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, employing the same titanium frame with a completely flat screen. The major difference between the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 15 Pro Max will be size. The upcoming iPhone screen will grow to 6.9 inches across, a significant bump over the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 6.7-inch display. To achieve this, they're likely shrinking the bezels down even further and making the phone itself slightly larger overall. As per the rumors, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will measure 163mm in height and 77.58mm in width versus 159.9mm and 76.7mm for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, respectively. A small but notable change, all things considered. The iPhone 15 Pro Max debuted with an action button instead of a mute switch and a USB Type-C port at the bottom, so those two features will be carrying over to the newer model as well. However, the iPhone 16 series will be scoring another button, dubbed the Capture button. Colors-wise, the iPhone 15 Pro Max was available in 4 understated and titanium-inspired colors. We've heard that Apple might use another titanium processing technique that will make the iPhone 16 Pro Max glossier and also more capable of retaining colors. Moving on to display differences. As mentioned, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come along with a significantly larger display, measuring at 6.9 inches across. Aside from the size, we don't clearly expect any other major changes. We're certainly getting a liquid Retina XDR display with an OLED panel delivering superb colors, contrast, and exceptional maximum brightness. The screen will support 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate, making scrolling through the interface and on-screen content way smoother. Now let's delve into performance and software. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will feature a second-generation 3nm chip, possibly dubbed Apple A18 Pro. As one can imagine, we expect that the Apple A18 Pro will have better performance than the Apple A17 Pro. Due to the heavily rumored focus on AI for both iOS and the iPhone 16 range, we expect that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come with a much improved neural engine to take care of all the generative AI features. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will also be a first to debut iOS 18 with a focus on artificial intelligence features. The new iPhone 16 Pro Max will also support faster Wi-Fi 7 and a more power-efficient 5G modem, keeping you future-proofed on the connectivity front. Let's talk about the camera. As the iPhone 15 Pro Max delivers a host of important camera features, chief among which is the new 120mm telephoto lens, the iPhone 16 Pro Max could finally address one of the forgotten cameras that hasn't recently scored any significant overhauls, the ultra-wide. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo believes that Apple will be introducing a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. When it comes to audio quality, iPhone Pro Max devices are always up there with the best, setting the benchmarks for all other manufacturers to measure up against. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will be no exception. The same generally applies to haptics too. iPhones are arguably the best devices when it comes to haptic feedback, giving us precise and accurate vibrations that are sufficiently strong yet not overpowering. Lastly, battery life and charging. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will reportedly feature a much larger 4,676 mAh battery compared to the 4,422 mAh battery in the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Charging-wise, we haven't heard anything about a potential charging speed increase, but we hope to see one on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So far, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is shaping up to be a logical improvement to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, delivering key upgrades in important areas like screen size, performance, AI, and battery life. Thus far, we haven't heard anything particular about a potential price increase, so it's safe to assume that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will start at $1,199 for the 256GB version. Of course, if there's an iPhone 15 Pro Max in your pocket, then you'll probably have few reasons to upgrade to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Stay tuned for more updates on the iPhone 16 Pro Max as we get closer to its release date. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest tech news and reviews. Thanks for watching. Until next time.